Hello everybody.
Ashley Judd is an American actress, political activist, and humanitarian known for both her successful film career and her passionate advocacy work. Born on April 19, 1968, in Los Angeles, California, she is the daughter of country music singer Naomi Judd and the half-sister of Wynonna Judd, also a well-known country music star. Despite growing up in the public eye, Ashley carved her own path in the entertainment industry, earning recognition for her strong and nuanced performances. Acting career: Ashley Judd rose to fame in the 1990s with standout roles in films such as Ruby in Paradise, 1993, which won her critical acclaim, followed by box office hits like Kiss the Girls, 1997, Double Jeopardy, 1999, and High Crimes, 2002. Known for her ability to portray intelligent, resilient women, Judd became a leading figure in thrillers and dramas during the late 1990s and early 2000s. She also appeared on stage and television, including a notable role in the series Missing, 2012, which earned her an Emmy nomination. Education and activism: Judd is highly educated, holding a bachelor's degree from the University of Kentucky and a Master of Public Administration from Harvard University's Kennedy School. Outside of acting, she is a dedicated humanitarian and global advocate, working with organizations such as UNFPA, United Nations Population Fund, to combat poverty, gender inequality, and sexual violence. Her activism has taken her around the world, including to refugee camps and conflict zones. Personal life and advocacy: in addition to her international work, Ashley Judd has been a prominent voice in the #MeToo movement. She was one of the first women to publicly accuse Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein of sexual harassment, helping to catalyze a broader reckoning in the entertainment industry. Her courage in speaking out has been widely recognized as instrumental in changing the conversation around power and abuse in Hollywood. Judd has also openly shared her personal struggles with depression and codependency, becoming an advocate for mental health awareness. Her blend of intellect, empathy, and fearless advocacy has made her a respected figure far beyond her Hollywood achievements. Expanded acting career: Ashley Judd's early acting roles built a reputation for emotional depth and poise. Her breakthrough came with Ruby in Paradise, an indie film that earned her the Independent Spirit Award for Best Female Lead. She followed that with a range of successful thrillers and dramas. A Time to Kill, 1996, a powerful legal drama based on John Grisham's novel Where the Heart Is, 2000, a moving story of motherhood and resilience. De Lovely, 2004, a musical biopic where she starred alongside Kevin Kline. Bug, 2006, a psychological horror film that marked a shift into darker, more intense roles. Though she stepped back from acting in the 2010s to focus on humanitarian work, Judd remains a respected figure in the film community and occasionally returns to projects with personal significance. Global humanitarian work: Ashley Judd is one of Hollywood's most internationally active advocates. She has worked in over 30 countries on issues related to sexual and reproductive health, HIV, AIDS prevention, gender-based violence, poverty alleviation. She is a goodwill ambassador for the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, and serves on the board of several nonprofit organizations, including Population Services International, (PSI). Her work has taken her to places like South Sudan, Haiti, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Bangladesh. Judd is known for immersing herself in the field, meeting with survivors, health workers, and policymakers, bridging the gap between policy and lived experience. Books: academic and intellectual pursuits. Ashley Judd has a keen intellect and an academic approach to her activism. After taking a break from Hollywood, she earned her MPA from Harvard in 2010, focusing on gender equality, public health, and social policy. She also spent time at the London School of Economics for further study. Her writing, particularly her memoir All That Is Bitter and Sweet, 2011, reflects a thoughtful and introspective voice, detailing her personal trauma, global travels, and journey toward healing and advocacy. Heartbreak, personal resilience, and tragedy. In 2022, Ashley Judd faced a devastating loss when her mother, Naomi Judd, died by suicide after a long battle with mental illness. Ashley was the one who discovered her mother's body, and she has since become an advocate for mental health support and suicide prevention, using her platform to destigmatize conversations around these issues. She also survived a near-fatal accident in 2021 while doing conservation work in the Democratic Republic of Congo, suffering severe leg injuries. Her recovery required extensive surgery and rehabilitation, which she undertook with grit and determination, another testament to her resilience. Legacy and cultural impact. Ashley Judd's legacy extends beyond entertainment. She is a rare figure who has successfully crossed into international advocacy without the trappings of celebrity diplomacy. She is frequently invited to speak at the UN, global forums, and academic institutions. Her role in the #MeToo movement, particularly her willingness to go on record against Harvey Weinstein in the New York Times expose, was a watershed moment for Hollywood and society. In 2023, a judge ruled that she could move forward with a sexual harassment lawsuit against Weinstein, underscoring the long legal and emotional road survivors often face. Ashley Judd's life has been one of intellectual rigor, artistic achievement, and moral courage. She embodies the ideal of using fame not for personal gain, but as a vehicle to bring light to the most vulnerable people in the world. Mental health advocacy. Ashley Judd has long spoken openly about her struggles with depression, codependency, and emotional trauma, often linking her personal experiences to broader issues in society. In her memoir All That Is Bitter and Sweet, she recounts her childhood instability and the psychological effects of fame, abandonment, and abuse. Her willingness to be transparent has helped destigmatize therapy and psychiatric care in patient treatment for trauma recovery. The long-term effects of emotional neglect and sexual abuse. Judd underwent a 47-day stay at a Texas treatment center in 2006. Not for addiction, as many assumed, but for emotional healing. She later said, "I needed help. I was in so much pain." This candor continues to serve as a beacon for others seeking help without shame. Compass spiritual life and philosophy. Judd identifies as a Christian with a progressive global perspective. She has spoken about her faith journey in a way that embraces compassion, justice, and inclusion. Her worldview has been shaped by a combination of Christian ethics, feminist principles, interfaith exposure. During her travels in interviews and speeches, she emphasizes empathy, humility, and service as key values. Rather than aligning with institutional religion, Judd's spirituality is often expressed through activism and quiet service to others. Memo writing and public speaking. Ashley Judd is not just a performer but a powerful public intellectual and communicator. Her speeches are known for their emotional gravity, informed analysis, and moral clarity. Highlights include the 2017 Women's March in Washington, D.C., where she recited a fiery poem titled Nasty Woman, becoming a viral moment of resistance. UN speeches on gender equality and reproductive rights. TED-style talks and panels at Harvard, Stanford, and the Clinton Global Initiative. She is respected in both academic and activist circles for backing her beliefs with data, field experience, and moral conviction. briefcase legal action and #MeToo. Judd was one of the first women to publicly accuse Harvey Weinstein of sexual misconduct in 2017. Her allegations became a cornerstone of the Pulitzer Prize-winning New York Times exposé that ignited the global #MeToo movement. Key developments. She sued Weinstein in 2018 for defamation and sexual harassment. The Ninth Circuit Court ruled in 2020 that she could proceed with her claim. In 2022, she reached a legal milestone allowing her to bring the case under California's expanded sexual harassment laws. By speaking out early and staying consistent and composed under pressure, she helped shift the cultural landscape, proving that accountability is possible, even in the face of entrenched power. Seedling environmental and conservation efforts. Lesser known but equally passionate is her work in environmental conservation, especially in the Global South. Judd supports sustainable development projects, wildlife preservation, access to clean water and sanitary health conditions. Her 2021 leg injury in the Congo rainforest occurred while she was tracking endangered bonobos with scientists. Despite the harrowing injury, her gratitude toward local guides and medics highlighted her deep respect for indigenous communities and their role in protecting ecosystems. Footprint, legacy and progress. Ashley Judd's life is not defined by celebrity, it is defined by service, scholarship, and survival. She has endured personal trauma, physical injury, and family tragedy, all while advocating for others with integrity and courage. Her unique legacy bridges Hollywood and humanitarianism, intellect and emotion, fame and fearless truth-telling in a culture often focused on superficial influence. Judd stands out for her substance. She isn't chasing attention. She's commanding respect. Relationships and personal life. Ashley Judd has always maintained a relatively private personal life, especially considering her fame. She has spoken about her views on love, marriage, and motherhood in ways that challenge traditional expectations. Marriage. Judd was married to Scottish racing driver Dario Franchitti from 2001 to 2013. The couple remained on good terms after their divorce, and she publicly supported him throughout his career. Children. Judd has chosen not to have children, stating in interviews and her memoir that she views this choice as one of compassion. Her reasoning was that with so many children suffering globally, she wanted to channel her energy toward helping those already born rather than having her own. This decision reflects her philosophy of service and ethical living, rather than being rooted in personal preference or regret. Face mask. Hollywood ethics and behind-the-scenes advocacy. Even during her peak acting years, Judd was vocal about unethical practices in the entertainment industry. Long before the #MeToo movement gained traction, she criticized the hypersexualization of female roles, advocated for fair pay and better scripts for women, called out ageism and sexism in casting decisions. She famously rejected roles that required nudity without narrative justification, even when it affected her career trajectory. Her refusal to conform to Hollywood's exploitative norms made her a quiet revolutionary, one whose stance is now widely respected. She's also been a mentor to younger women in the industry and beyond, guiding them through the professional and emotional complexities of public life. Media strategy and boundaries. Ashley Judd has a sophisticated understanding of media and power. She's been intentional about how and when she speaks, often using media appearances not for self-promotion, but to amplify global issues, such as child marriage or refugee crises. Educate audiences on topics like intersectional feminism, health equity, and trauma healing. Push back against objectification, as in her famous 2012 Daily Beast essay, where she dismantled the sexist media obsession with her puffy face. That piece in particular is widely cited in feminist media studies as a landmark moment in celebrity-based gender critique. Dove responds to Naomi Judd's death when Ashley Judd's mother, country legend Naomi Judd, died by suicide in April 2022. It marked a deeply public and painful chapter of her life. Ashley handled it with grace and purpose. She co-authored op-eds calling for compassion and privacy for families facing mental health tragedies. She urged legislators to change laws that allow graphic death scene records to be public in the U.S., using her own traumatic experience as a case study. She framed the loss as part of the larger crisis of mental illness stigma, especially among older adults and public figures. Her courage in speaking about grief, suicide, and privacy has opened critical conversations on how the legal system and media handle mental health tragedies. Global influence and recognition. Ashley Judd's work has not gone unnoticed by the international community. Her accolades include Harvard Kennedy School's Outstanding Alumni Award recognition from Time, Forbes, and Glamour as a top global humanitarian speaking roles at World Economic Forum, Davos, United Nations, and Clinton Global Initiative. She's also been invited to sit on panels with heads of state, Nobel laureates, and global health experts, placing her in a very small group of celebrities whose voice is trusted and respected at the policy level. And enduring values and future impact. Ashley Judd stands for something rare in public life: a commitment to truth, even when it's painful or unpopular. Her defining values are integrity over fame, justice over comfort, service over self-promotion. Though she has taken extended breaks from acting, her presence is deeply felt in social justice circles, academic discourse, and humanitarian policy. She represents a new kind of leadership, one that's not bound by traditional power structures but shaped by courage, knowledge, and deep empathy. Symbol of fourth-wave feminism. Ashley Judd has become an enduring symbol of fourth-wave feminism, which focuses on ending sexual harassment and assault, expanding intersectionality using digital platforms for activism, championing mental health and emotional justice. Unlike performative activism often seen in the digital age, Judd walks the walk. Her advocacy is research-based, deeply personal, and informed by lived experience. She combines academic rigor with emotional storytelling, creating a powerful narrative that resonates globally. She has said, "Patriarchy is a system, and we are all taught to participate in it, men and women, but we can unlearn it together." That emphasis on collective healing over blame is a hallmark of her feminist stance. Test tube credibility in global development and policy. What sets Ashley Judd apart from most celebrities engaged in advocacy is her deep policy knowledge. She is not a figurehead, but an active participant in drafting white papers on gender-based violence for UN agencies, participating in global health think tanks, evaluating grassroots programs in the field in sub-Saharan Africa, Southeast Asia, and Central America. Because of this, she is frequently consulted as an expert in areas like family planning and reproductive justice, harm reduction strategies, public-private partnerships in maternal health at the World Health Organization. Judd has also contributed to frameworks addressing sexual violence in humanitarian settings. She doesn't just speak at events, she helps shape agendas. DNA unique role in science, health, and ethics. Judd's voice bridges a rare intersection of bioethics, gender studies, and public health. She has collaborated with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, Planned Parenthood Global, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. She has spoken on ethical storytelling when portraying survivors of trauma, especially in documentary film and journalism. Her key concern: avoiding exploitation and voyeurism, even in well-meaning reporting. She once remarked, Even good intentions can dehumanize the very people we hope to help. We must center dignity and consent at every step. Graduation cap teaching, mentorship, and student engagement. Ashley Judd regularly lectures at universities and is considered a sought-after speaker in women's and gender studies, public policy, and global health ethics in media and humanitarianism. She has led seminars and spoken at institutions like Harvard University, Oxford Union, Georgetown School of Foreign Service, Yale Divinity School. On theology and justice, students often comment on her openness, lack of ego, and grounded delivery, making her an effective teacher and mentor figure. Cell phone impact on digital activism and media literacy. Ashley Judd is also a forerunner in media literacy and online activism. She has been an outspoken critic of online misogyny and harassment, a target of vicious internet abuse, especially after her viral 2015 TED Talk on digital hate speech, one of the first celebrities to successfully sue Twitter trolls, bringing legal attention to online gender-based violence. Her TED Talk, How Online Abuse of Women Has Spiraled Out of Control, helped shift the conversation from freedom of speech toward digital accountability and psychological harm. Mirror cultural and emotional archetype. In many ways, Ashley Judd represents a rare archetype in American culture, the warrior intellectual empath. She is fierce without being cynical, vulnerable without being performative, educated without condescension, famous but not fame-obsessed. She's often seen as a wounded healer, a figure who turns her trauma into action, her loss into learning, and her fame into a form of ethical leverage. She exists in the tradition of figures like Eleanor Roosevelt, Jane Fonda, and Gloria Steinem, women who evolved into global changemakers through a combination of courage, criticism, and clarity. Receipt summary of Ashley Judd's unique identity aspect. Detail: profession actress, humanitarian, activist, speaker. Education: BA, University of Kentucky. MPA, Harvard Kennedy School. Causes: gender justice, public health, anti-trafficking, mental health. Notable achievements: #MeToo pioneer, UNFPA Goodwill.
Bye bye. Thanks for watching.